Hello, welcome to the topic where we highlight Houston Community College, our students, our programs, and our reach into the community. I'm Montrose Cunningham, coordinator of community outreach at Northwest College. We're here every Thursday afternoon when HCC is in session, live at 2 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. Via your local cable provider. Of course, we weren't here last week. We were all recovering from Hurricane Beryl. This week, we're going to talk about the recovery process and resources to make things easier. So we start with Dr. Norma Perez, our Vice Chancellor of Instructional Services and Chief Academic Officer. Hello, Dr. Perez. I believe your mic might still be muted.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. So it's good to see you, and thank you for the invite.
Yes, of course. I hope you and your family are doing well in the recovery now. Hurricane Beryl just hit as we're supposed to start the summer 2 sessions. So how will the delay impact the semester? Will it impact other sessions, or what's the impact going to have?
Well, the impact that it's going to have is it didn't delay. The start of classes still officially was Monday, July the 8th. And so the impact that it's going to have is really having to make up the course time that we lost last week within the remaining 4 weeks that we have for the session. And so our faculty and our instructional leaders are working with each of our program faculties to ensure that we're able to make up that time and developing activities that will probably be conducted outside of class and in many cases using online instruction.
I see. So are there any changes to things like drop dates?
The only change of date that we had was the official date of record. That would have been officially last week, and the official date of record was made this past Tuesday, was the official date of record. And what that means is that students who wanted to drop by Tuesday will be getting their 100% refund, and they would not be there will be no indication that they signed up for that course on their transcript.
Okay.
Aside from that, anyone that drops after the official date of record, which was the 16th, then those students will follow whatever the refund policy is at this point, using that date as the official date of record.
Okay. All right. Well, while power has been restored for most of our area, there may be some pockets without power or with slow data services. What resources are available to students to help?
Well, one of the things that has happened as a result of COVID is that we built what we call digital access centers, which are locations throughout the district that allow for students to come in, as well as the community, to come in and utilize computer services using our internet system. And so those services are available to our students to be able to connect and continue with their classes if for some reason their internet is still not up. In addition to those digital learning centers, we also do have computer labs, computer student labs, where again, students can come in and have access to those to that equipment in order for them to continue with their coursework. They can also bring in their own laptop and be able to connect to the network, and again, find a place within our library or within our student areas where they can find a quiet place to go ahead and continue their coursework so that they can, in fact, finish the semester on time. Our main concern was making sure that students who are ready to graduate, that will be graduating in the end of this semester, which is the summer semester, are able to meet their graduation date so that they can move on to their next challenge.
All right. Okay. So even under regular circumstances, summer classes move quickly, but this semester will be more compressed. So what advice do you have for students that may have special circumstances related to the hurricane or may find themselves falling behind?
Well, one of the things that we always encourage, Montrose, is that if there's any concerns, always discuss it with your professor first. Your professor may be able to work out a situation with you in terms of how they can provide you with some outside service, how they can maybe connect you with a tutor to help you catch up if that's what is needed in order to help you finish your coursework. But first and foremost, it's always to talk to your faculty member we've been through this before with the Hurricane Harvey back in 2017. We've been through this with the windstorm recently that we had. And then, of course, we had the ice storm back in February, I think, 2 years ago. And
Yes.
so all of that has really prepared us for us to be sensitive to these kinds of situations, which are beyond our control. And so knowing that our faculty understand the situation where our students may find themselves, as well as some of our own faculty and staff. And so we tend to be sensitive to that in terms of trying to find solutions to help our students and our faculty and staff through those kinds of situations. So I think that we have a great number of resources available for our students. It's a matter of them being able to reach out via their professor. And then again, we have a website that talks about the student toolkit that also gives students a lot of references in terms of where they can go for assistance, whether it be anything related to shelter. As you will know, we have our own food pantries on many of our campuses now. Those are fully staffed for, again, faculty that they need. Students who may need some additional resources in terms of food that they're lacking and other essentials that they may need. So, we're trying to do everything we can to ensure that, again, that we learn through our sensitive to our students, our faculty are sensitive to our students, and that we're working together to help our students be successful.
Great. Okay. And we got about 60 seconds left. How is HCC supporting the faculty? You mentioned that earlier as well.
But we also are sensitive to our faculty in the sense that our faculty also, if for some reason they still don't have electricity, they also have access to the faculty studios that are equipped for faculty to present their classes to students online. As you know, many of our classes are already being conducted online. And for those faculty who want to add some online components to their course in order to cover some of that missing coursework, they're able to do that and be able to do it at a studio. As far as everything else, we also have a list of resources for our faculty and staff to also look at on the website in case they need any help outside of HCC.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Perez. We really appreciate the information, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So when we come back, we'll turn our attention to our finances.
At Houston Community College, we make your lessons matter. Open the door to real-world education, where passions become careers. Find out more at hccs.edu and let your success take flight.
For more than a year, we have kept you informed with more than 500 remote episodes. But now we're back, bigger and better, with more news and more guests. Join us live every weekday at 10 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube, and on HCC TV at noon and 5 p.m. You can watch from anywhere. We go where you go.
Welcome back to the topic. We're talking about recovery from Hurricane Beryl. One place we often feel the impact of natural disaster is our bank account. So HCC financial coach Daniel Scholl joins us to talk about how we make that hit a little bit softer. Hello, Daniel.
Good afternoon, Montrose. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I've got no complaints. I know a lot of people have really been struggling these last 8 or 9 days. So I try to keep that all in perspective.
Yes, I know it's been a lot. So many people are spending this week assessing damage to their home, car, business, dealing with the insurance companies. What are some things we need to keep in mind, like when it comes to insurance?
Sure. So the first thing you want to do, obviously, is you want to call your insurance company ASAP. It may take them a while for get an adjuster out to you, but you got to get, notice as soon as possible that you've had a declaration. And then you want to document everything that has happened. You want to take pictures, video of everything that's going on. The next step is kind of tricky because to a certain aspect, the insurance company doesn't want you to start doing repairs until they get an adjuster out there to take a look at it, right? However, you still need to secure your property. And if any further damage has been done, that's on you. So, we had rain today, we had rain yesterday. If you've, got a hole in your roof from a tree falling on it, you've got to get that somewhat fixed, even if an adjuster hasn't talked to you yet. So, let them know anything that you're going to do. This is why we see the blue tarps that we've gotten so familiar with here around the Gulf Coast, right? After hurricanes, you see those blue tarps, they're securing their roof, but they're not actually repairing yet. Right. Anything that you do spend money on, you want to make sure that you keep all your receipts. So if you do, need to go to a Home Depot or Lowe's or any hardware store to get some stuff right away to secure things, make sure you hold on to those receipts. It's also important to remember that any lost food or any expenses you incur, so let's say you have to put your dogs up for boarding because of the heat, or you go into a hotel because you haven't had electricity, those, and this depends on your policy, may be recoverable without hitting your deductible. That depends on your policy. That's something you want to talk to your insurance agent about or adjuster. But make sure you hold on to all receipts until they absolutely say no. And if they say no, ask again. It's always worth appealing all no decisions. I don't want to say that insurance companies just say no, but it's not going to hurt to have someone else take a look at it when they do say no.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And you beat me to the punch. I was just going to ask you about a food. So it's some policies it's covered and some policies it may not be.
Yeah. And that might be with renter's insurance too. Generally when we think about hurricanes, we think about homeowners and homeowners insurance policies. But if you have a renter's insurance policy, that actually probably will cover your lost food. It's always important to remember with renter's insurance, basically what's being covered is your contents. So, the landlord, they're going to have their building insured. Any building stuff they take care of. Anything that's really happening inside those walls, that's what your renter's insurance covers.
I see. Okay. All right. So unfortunately, during times like this, disasters, there are a lot of scammers out there. How can we be alert for scams?
Yeah, like you said, unfortunately, it brings out the worst sometimes in people. And we saw this a lot after Harvey. We saw people going around, so-called, contractors knocking on doors. Hey, I can fix you this stuff, and then I'll bill your insurance company. Things like that. Be wary of any contractor that comes knocking on your door. Any contractor that you work with, there's a couple things that you can do to make sure that they're legitimate. First and foremost, ask them for references, right? And then follow up on those references. Make sure you make those phone calls. Look them up on the internet, see if there's any trace of them. And finally, ask for their contractor's license number. If they don't have a contractor license, then they're not a contractor. There's a big difference between a handyman and a contractor. And, if you just want someone to fix your fence, a handyman can probably handle that. You've got roof damage, that insurance company's not going to be happy. Just some handyman up there. You're going to need a licensed contractor. They do have their license information. You can check that on the internet. Additionally, outside of building scams, you want to be aware of electronic scams. If you get an email from FEMA, if you get an email from the Red Cross, the government, something like that says, hey, you've been in a disaster, click this link, give us your account number, give us your social security number. It's a scam. Remember, no government agency will ever ask you for that information. Now, we do fill out those forms online now, but don't let them send you a link. You go to the Red Cross website, and we'll have, I think, links to that later in the show.
Okay. All right. That's good information. So if we need help with some of these things, what kind of resources are out there?
So there are a lot of resources. And we did hear Dr. Perez talk about the Eagle Market. So that's the main resource that HCC has right now, would be if you need, a lot of people have to throw a lot of food out. We do have the Eagle Market here at HCC. Students can sign up at just about any campus. I think some of the smaller campuses may not have an Eagle Market, but all the colleges do. That's usually handled through either the dean's office, student services office, or counseling. but the front desk should be able to direct you to get signed up for that, and you can pick up groceries there through the Eagle Market. And then obviously, the government comes in at this time. We've already spoken about FEMA. FEMA is a great resource. They have a website dedicated to Beryl. Additionally, there's the 211 hotline that's run by the United Way of Greater Houston. They're a great place to call to get other resources. You can tell them what you're struggling with, and they can connect you with the proper agency. The county has totally revamped their website. It used to be the Harris County Office of Emergency Management. It's now ReadyHarris. I think it's .org, could be .gov, but Ready Harris. And that's a great resource right there of all the things that the county has to offer. If you need a loan, let's say you don't have insurance, you're going to need a loan. The SBA actually is the Small Business Administration who handles that. You can always go to the SBA.gov. I think I mentioned the Red Cross. And a new thing that has been set up recently due to a grant is the disaster. I'm going to look at my notes here. The Greater Houston Disaster Alliance is up. And I think that's basically with the city. Okay. So check that out. And then Catholic Charities is a great nonprofit that really steps in during disaster times.
Okay. All right. Well, in the last few seconds we have left, if you could maybe just give us a lesson or two that we could take away from Beryl and how we get ready for the next disaster. We got a minute left.
Yeah, sadly, we know that next disaster is coming, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone needs to be prepared to go 72 hours without any assistance. So make sure you've got food, water, whatever you need set up to at least get you through 72 hours. A lot of people are now buying generators. We've been through so many power issues. If you get a generator, make sure you understand how to use it. Make sure you've got it outside of your house, at least 20 feet away. Carbon monoxide poisoning is a big issue. Right. Review your this is a great time to review your insurance with your insurance agent. Make sure you have the coverage that you need. Go ahead and get your trees pruned. If Beryl didn't prune them for you, to be honest, prune trees do great in hurricanes. Okay. Unpruned trees do not. And then finally, we're a cashless society. Everybody swipes a card. There were so many point of sale systems that were down. People were trying to buy gas. A lot of those gas stations were operating cash only. So when a disaster is coming, it's probably worth going to the ATM and getting a few $100 out. ATMs were down as well with no power. So. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Daniel Scholl, HCC financial coach. And when we return, we'll discover the resources available through tutoring. Thanks a lot, Daniel.
Thank you.
At Houston Community College, we make your lessons matter. Open the door to real-world education, where passions become careers. Find out more at hccs.edu and let your success take flight.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes, through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
Welcome back to the topic. We're talking about recovery from Hurricane Beryl. As noted early in the show, summer classes are on an accelerated schedule. That makes keeping up with your classwork that much more important. Christopher Smith, faculty tutor for English in our Academic Success Center, joins us now. Hello, Christopher.
Montrose, thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you for being here. So give us an overview of the Academic Success Center and tutoring services.
Oh, yeah. So the Academic Success Center provides tutoring in a variety of subject matter, all levels of math, many levels of science and business courses and accounting, of course, English and writing courses, any of those courses, language arts, even things like interior design or manufacturing or logistics. There's basically not a course that you take at HCC that we do not have a tutor who can help you with your assignments.
Really, that's interesting to hear, because normally when you think tutoring, I'll be honest, just off the top of your head, you just think, reading, writing, arithmetic, but you said you have, even for the fashion design, we have tutors.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I was with a student in the elevator this morning, and I asked what he was taking, and he was taking philosophy, and I reminded him we have philosophy teachers in case he's having any issues in his class. Yeah, we really cover it all.
All right. So what are some of the features of the center that might be particularly helpful to students who are still recovering from the storm?
Primarily, of course, the technology that we have available. And a lot of our centers are also what are called digital access centers, which are all-inclusive centers. You don't even have to be a student at HCCU to utilize, in which we have laptops, we have technology available, and we also teach digital literacy and the various usage of computer technology for people who aren't up to speed on it yet. This not only means that if, say, you need a laptop, that you can come in and get one, but it means that you can come in, and if you have an online class, get on one of our computers and utilize that to go to your class. Some people have their power back, but they don't have internet yet. Mm-hmm. And so this is an important resource. So yes, that's the primary thing that we have. Of course, also our excellent tutoring services.
Of course. Yes, and that's good to know, because you're right. A lot of people, I know several of my friends got their power back, but it was 2 or 3 days before they had internet access. So, it's like, well, that's great that you have power, but, right now, the important thing to have is internet access.
To be connected, absolutely. Yes.
Exactly. So many of our students have daytime jobs or irregular or shift schedules. And of course, lots of outside responsibilities. What are the hours and days that tutoring is available?
Well, remember that we don't only do tutoring in person. We do that, but we also do real-time virtual tutoring. So if they cannot get to us, if they need to get tutoring service on a lunch break or between lunch and going home or what have you, that's available too. Our hours at the centers vary a little bit from center to center. It's mostly 8 to 8 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 on Friday, and 9 to 3 on Saturday. And those are absolutely the hours for real-time virtual tutoring.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So say I'm wanting to get some tutoring. What's the process for me to get tutoring?
There are 3 separate ways you can do it. If you are on campus, you can simply walk into any of our centers and ask to see a tutor, and you'll be directed to one immediately.
No appointment needed.
No appointments needed. It might be possible that, say, if we have 1 or 2 English and math tutors, that we might set up an appointment quickly, again, virtually, and put you in front of a computer in one of our centers. But yes, you will get help immediately. Okay. So that's one way. The second way is that you can call in. Our number, 718-8184. And the minute that call is answered, it's answered by a lab assistant who will set you up with an appointment, whether you want it immediately or you're setting it up for the future. Also, they can go online to hccs.edu/tutoring. And you can either choose, and you click on tutoring options, and you can either choose your course and the campus you would like tutoring on, or just look at all the campuses available and what are the hours for that subject that we have a tutor available.
Okay. All right. And what do you advice do you have for students to get the most out of the tutoring experience?
First of all, bring in whatever assignment sheet you have for your paper. Let us see specifically what the tutor is asking for. Come prepared with questions, things that you specifically know or are concerned you may need help with. And come early and often. So often people think the tutoring is that last-ditch effort when you're failing in your classes. But at any point in your academic career, even when you're doing well, tutoring can really help you to raise your grade up to another level. So those are my big advice.
Yeah, and I also I'm also an adjunct professor, and I always encourage my students to get tutoring, like you said, regardless of how you're doing, because you never know what you may learn that you may not know. So we have a wealth of knowledge with our tutors. So
thank you.
Appreciate the work you do. And I just want to circle back to something you said earlier. You were talking about the digital literacy classes that we teach.
Yes.
What are some of the subject? What are some of the things that you learned in a digital literacy class?
Well, I mean, it can be as simple as learning how to operate a computer. It can be about learning how to utilize Teams effectively, or about how to actually use Canvas effectively. A lot of students have difficulty navigating their Canvas shells for various reasons. But really, it's the use of that. Even what we're doing right now is Zoom. Any sort of computer form of communication.
They're there platforms.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yes.
Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, thank you so much, Christopher. We really appreciate you joining us, and hope you and your family are doing well in the recovery process. Thank you so much.
Same to you.
All right. So thanks for joining us on the topic. If you enjoy the show, follow us on Facebook and YouTube at Houston Community College District. To listen to the topic and more HCC TV programming, visit hccs.edu/podcasts. And for the topic on HCC TV, I'm Montrose Cunningham. Thank you so much for joining us.